Welcome to rSlash Relationships, where OP's boyfriend has a horribly dark secret. Our next Reddit post is from Deceased Caterpillar. I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I broke up with my 28-year-old ex 10 months ago, but he will not get over it. Despite me wishing to no longer interact with my ex, as well as me dating someone new, a guy named Cole who's 29. My ex has been trying to win me back by doing over-the-top things like sending me gift baskets, love letters, chocolates, etc. Even though I've blocked his number, blocked him on all social media, and I always ignore his attempts to woo me with gifts. He never waits for me outside or tries to talk to me. He just leaves me gifts at our doorstep and runs away. It's creepy and it makes me super uncomfortable. Cole, whom I live with, doesn't actually see an issue with this and says that he feels bad for my ex and doesn't want me to waste my ex's money and efforts. So I reluctantly just let Cole eat the chocolate. That's why he's okay with it, because he gets to eat the chocolate. Sorry, that's just funny to me. So I just reluctantly let Cole eat the chocolate. Okay, I'm sorry. It's like Cole. It's like, oh, flowers. I've never gotten flowers before. Oh, this ex-boyfriend is so sweet. It's like the Stalker is wooing he's accidentally gay wooing a guy rather than wooing OP. I'm sorry, that really caught me off guard. So I reluctantly just let Cole eat the chocolates and other stuff since he insists that I don't throw them out. Yeah, I bet. He even likes reading the love letters even though I tell him I don't want to. Yo, OP, I think your boyfriend's gay. I think he's being wooed by your ex and he's falling in love with this guy. I don't understand why he's so chill about this, because my ex and Cole aren't even friends and have never interacted. So it makes no sense why he's okay with my ex doing these dumb gestures that he knows make me uncomfortable and creeped out. If anything, Cole should be pissed off that someone is trying to steal his girlfriend, right? Anyway, all of this finally came to a head on my birthday. After work, I came home to our apartment decorated in balloons, chocolates, and flowers. I am immediately touched, thinking all of this was a surprise from Cole. Nope! Apparently, my ex actually came over with all this stuff, buzzed our apartment doorbell. Cole let him in and allowed my ex to decorate our apartment and leave gifts for me. Then my ex left before I could get home. Cole apparently saw no issue with this. He literally let my ex into our apartment like it was no big deal because your ex came all the way with these gifts, which was such a thoughtful gesture. Now I feel totally unsafe. What if my ex secretly left a hidden camera or something? I have no idea why Cole is so fine with all of this. I've talked to him over and over, and he won't understand why I would want to reject free stuff from someone who cares about me. I love Cole, but the fact that he actually let my ex into our apartment was a huge breach of trust, and I have no clue how to deal with this. Is this relationship just unsalvageable, or is there a way that I can get it through Cole's head that none of this is okay? Could Cole have ulterior motives by letting my ex do all these things? Any advice is welcome. I just have no clue how to handle this absurd situation. Thanks. You know, another thought that occurred to me while reading this is it's possible that Cole is a cuckold, that he likes the idea of a guy stealing his girl because some people are into that. Personally, I like the theory that Cole is gay for the ex. And I don't mean to laugh at OP's misfortune. This is actually a really terrible breach of trust, and I think OP should absolutely dump Cole. This is there's no coming back from this in my opinion. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, right? I think part of what's going on is that most men aren't ever wooed. And I'm not trying to excuse Cole's behavior at all. I think what Cole did is really bad. It's just most men have never in their entire lives gotten chocolate or flowers. So for him to kind of sort of be on the receiving end of that is probably fascinating to him. And even though it's, wrong that he's receiving these at all, it's still just like, oh, so this is what it feels like. This feels great. That's just my theory. Well, we have an update. We'll see which of these theories is correct. 4 days later, OP posted an update. And again, I have a feeling this is going to go downhill. I'm not belittling OP's problem. I really do think this is a serious problem and that she should dump him. It's just a funny, serious problem. When I got back home on Friday, I tried to come up with a good plan to keep myself safe while I confronted Cole in case he were to do something scary. A lot of people put the fear of God into me in the comments on my last post. I invited my very tall and intimidating younger brother over to be there when I talked to Cole. My brother couldn't come over until Sunday, so I spent a day and a half awkwardly trying to pretend that everything was fine. But I must have done a terrible job because Cole kept asking me what was wrong and love-bombing me. Eventually, Sunday came around. My brother showed up, and we grilled Cole about why the hell he's been so fine with my ex coming around with gifts, and even letting him in to decorate our apartment for my birthday. I was not ready. All of you had a lot of theories. One of which came up a lot was that the two of them knew each other and/or were working together to do this. If anything, I would have rather that been the case because the truth is so much more messed up. Basically, Cole's been fixated on my ex. Ooh, is rSlash correct? Is he gay for the ex? Okay, he's essentially been stalking my stalker. Cole admitted that he made fake social media accounts. Yes, multiple. To follow my ex and has been stalking his Instagram and Facebook. Apparently, my ex has been making a lot of vent posts about me and how hurt he is that I'm not returning his feelings, and that I moved on so fast, and Cole's been egging him on in his alt accounts to get my ex to keep trying. The reason my ex is still stalking me is because Cole has been literally telling him to on his effing alt accounts. It's obvious my ex is unstable if he's listening to random strangers telling to keep trying, and Cole is taking advantage of his instability by planting thoughts into his head. If I'm to believe Cole's words, my ex has no idea that it's Cole that's been encouraging him to keep pursuing me. But I can't be certain about anything this guy says at this point. So why, you ask, was Cole doing all this? That is exactly what my brother and I asked. This was his answer: to give my ex false hope. Basically, to bully him. Anytime my ex angst posted on his social media about me, Cole got some sick satisfaction out of watching his misery. He wanted to string my ex along to keep trying to win my heart just to watch him fail over and over. Cole finds it hilarious that my ex is wasting so much money on gifts for me and that it's him who eats the chocolates and who reads the desperate love letters my ex sends to me while I act like my ex's gifts are radioactive and avoid them. This has all been some sick game to see how long he can get my ex to keep pining for me. Who the hell even does this? I've been living in fear for months because Cole thinks it's funny to manipulate my ex and watch him be heartbroken. I cannot articulate how sick all of this is. How is this funny? What is wrong with him? He said he makes sure not to go too far by discouraging my ex to make direct contact with me, but I can't believe anything anymore. I've read so many stories of people who were dating someone who seemed sweet initially, but turned out to be actually unhinged. But I naively never thought that could be me. I was so careless and dumb because I clung to someone who finally treated me with kindness. But he's a twisted man who turned my ex into a monster by feeding his delusions. I think if he hadn't done all this, my ex probably wouldn't still be stalking me in the first place. My constant fear and discomfort have just been an unfortunate byproduct of his little game of puppetry. I can't even comprehend how someone could do something like this. I'm so shaken up, I feel like I'm spiraling. Suffice to say, I'm living with my brother and his girlfriend while my ex gets the hell out. I told him he needs to move out within the week or I'm getting the cops involved. He didn't make a fuss or anything, surprisingly. He just looked at the floor like a kicked puppy. He hasn't even tried to call or text me, but I blocked him just in case. I'm gonna see if my landlord can understand my situation and let me break lease early with no extra cost. But if I can't, my brother is going to cover the extra costs in the meantime. And I'll stay with him and his girlfriend until I can find somewhere else. My brother is seriously a godsend. Okay, my two theories of Cole is gay and the ex-boyfriend is a cuckold were pretty far-fetched, in my opinion, crazy theories. I cannot believe that my two craziest theories were not crazy enough for the reality. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that case about the husband who would drug his wife and then invite strangers over to sexually assault her, and he did it like hundreds of times. It was a French case. The guy's name is Dominic P, apparently. It's kind of similar, where the loving partner is actually getting off on ruining the life of his girlfriend/wife. It's really messed up behavior. Blah, this was darker than I thought. Now I feel bad for laughing. Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway Cousin Drama. I'm a 29-year-old woman, and my cousin is also a 29-year-old woman. My cousin has convinced herself that my husband, who's 33, is in love with her. How do we deal with this? My husband James and I got married a little over 2 months ago, and this has been going on since then. We had a pretty small wedding. I have a huge family, but invited less than half of them for personal reasons. One cousin, Mira, I was unsure about inviting, but she was going through a hard time, and I thought inviting her would help her get out of her depressive funk. She's recently divorced after her husband of 2 years cheated on her and kicked her out of his home. At the wedding, everything was pretty normal and nothing crazy happened. The relevant detail here is that during the wedding reception, my husband and I did a little segment where we dedicated songs to each other, and they were played with an announcement stating that I dedicated one to him. Then he dedicated one to me. The song he dedicated to me was Adore You by Harry Styles. We're both Harry Styles fans, and that's my husband's favorite song. Because of the lyric that says brown skin and lemon over ice, Mira thinks that he was secretly dedicating it to her and not me. Her reasoning being that she has darker skin than I do, which is true, but it was not meant for her. And also, that's an insane thought process. Ever since then, she's been telling people that her and my husband are seeing each other behind my back and bragging about dating him, which she is not doing. My husband had only met Mira once before the wedding, at Thanksgiving 4 years ago, and they didn't even speak to each other apart from saying hi. Mira's been posting poorly photoshopped pictures of herself and my husband, and took photos from the wedding and cropped me out of them and plastered them on social media bragging about being with my husband. We both asked her to stop, and she blocked me and ignored him. My family members are split. The ones who weren't invited are saying I deserve this, and this is my karma for not inviting them to my wedding. My cousins all think that Mira is crazy, and my aunts and uncles who were invited say that I should just ignore her since I know she's lying. This is driving me and my husband insane. And yesterday, she showed up at my husband's job to bring him lunch and told everyone that she was his girlfriend, which led to confusion since most of his coworkers know me and 3 of them were at the wedding. I literally don't even know what to do at this point because this is so stupid and insane that I'm dumbfounded. I would appreciate some advice. How the hell do I handle this? Yeah, the level of craziness here feels like she needs mental help and you need a restraining order. I don't think Reddit's going to help you, OP. You got to get actual legal and psychological medical intervention here. Our next Reddit post is from Tagabin. I'm a 38-year-old guy, and I went from loving my wife, who's 32, to hating her in 1 hour, and I don't know how to keep living like this. I've been married since 2017, and I came home from work today in a good mood. I was happy, enjoying time with my wife and our son, but within an hour, I felt like I hated my wife and wanted to leave her. Here's what happened. I was frying some potato chips. She told me to only cook a small amount. After one batch, 10 to 15 chips, I decided to cook more while the oil was hot instead of waiting to do another batch later. She came over, grabbed the bag out of my hand, and started raising her voice at me to stop. I asked her why she had to react that way over something so small, but she just kept repeating that I should try the first batch before making more. I felt like I wanted to throw the chips just out of frustration. Our son even got in between us and said, "Stop, stop," which broke my heart. At that moment, all the old feelings of hate, resentment, and wanting to leave came flooding back. This is our normal. Fights over small things, her controlling behavior, her raising her voice, me feeling disrespected and trapped. We've had many conversations afterwards where she promises to change, but she never does. I love my son and I want peace in my life, but with her, I just can't find it. I felt this way even before marriage, but I stayed hoping things would change. Now, 8 years later, it's the same. Honestly, I believe it'll only get worse in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know if I should keep hoping, accept that this is my fate, or finally take steps to leave. I want a relaxed, happy relationship, but I don't think I'll ever have that with her. Well, I can tell you this much, OP. Don't do it for the kids. No kid on earth is like, oh man, I'm so happy that my parents stayed together and they fought every single day. I sure do love growing up in a 2-parent household where my parents hated each other's guts. As someone who has divorced parents, I can tell you most kids would rather their parents be happy apart than miserable together. That was rSlash-relationships, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.